They are all important, so let's take a look at each of the 22 cards one by one. No, okay, please fast forward. No. The first card, number 0, is the Fool. It represents beginnings and suggests infinite possibilities. In other words, the beginning of life. Oh my gosh, we're going through 22 cards. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The next card, the Magician, represents action and initiative, but also immaturity. The High Priestess represents contemplation and inner knowledge. The Empress represents both motherhood and maternal love, as well as one's vitality. The Emperor is an opposing card. It represents fatherhood as well as leadership and decision-making skills. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The Hierophant represents formality and knowledge and is a symbol for religion.
That is...
The Lovers represent choice. Here, the individual finally begins to develop a conscience. The Chariot represents the individual's victory, but only a momentary one. Justice is exactly what it sounds like, knowing what is right and what is wrong. The Hermit represents self-reflection, in other words, searching for answers deep within one's heart. Fortune represents fate and the opportunities it brings. Strength represents both passion and self-control, is depicted as a power with reason. The Hanged Man reflects the individual's inability to take action. Spiritual death awaits the individual with the 13th card, which is aptly named Death. Death is considered a transitional card. With death, the old ends and the new begins. Now let's move on to what happens following the transition. Temperance is balancing opposites. The opening one's eyes to the world allows for growth, and then an encounter with the devil is where one faces temptation. At the tower, the individual's values will start to collapse. It seems as if there's nothing to believe in. The individual then finds a glimmer of hope in the star, granting one peace and serenity. In turn, it makes one vulnerable to the moon's illusions, which gives way to fear and trepidation. But the individual may be rewarded with a bright future by the sun, which signifies true achievement. Judgment awaits the individual at the journey's end when looking back on the path one has traveled. The final card is the Universe, which represents the individual reaching full awareness. Where's the world, though? And that's the growth of an individual as explained by the tarot cards. Perhaps all this is about talk about life doesn't hit home with you young folks just yet, huh? Well, now you can use all 78 cards to divine the future in detail. But most people only use the 22 major arcana. Okay, next, let's talk about fortune telling using the major arcana. Why? 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 This lesson, no.